Fans of Osamu Tezuka rejoice, especially if you can read Japanese, because I don't know if this is going to end up getting an American release. But this is kind of a milestone for fans of his, because his childhood manga is going to be published for the first time. And you can see there's a picture of it here. And this is an article from Clownfish TV's site, drez.com. I'll go ahead and link this article in the description below for those of you that want to check it out for yourselves. But again, this is something that fans of his will rejoice about because it's finally seeing print. Now, Osamu Tezuka, the best way to describe him for those of you that don't know, he would be akin to like the Walt Disney of Japan. You know, heavily inspired by Disney actually, but created the legendary the Mighty Atom, which we know over here as Astro Boy, and Kimba the White Lion is probably his two most best known works over here. But it says here on January 3rd, 2022, it was announced in Japan, and a manga will be published for the first time in March of this year. When he was between the ages of 13 and 14, Osamu Tezuka had created a manga story with his younger brother and sister. The main character is snowman-shaped and named Mama, as the character goes on adventures involving things such as treasure hunting. Titled Mama Detective Story, only a few pages have ever been publicly shown to the world. This will be available for pre-order on the official website, the publisher 888 Books in Japan. So you see here, this is, you can see here, this is a page from that. Osamu Tezuka is considered the godfather of manga and anime. I would say that that's correct, right? For everything that I know about him, forever changing the manga and animation industry to become what it is today. Throughout his career, Tezuka created and wrote more than 700 manga series, including, or I should say, consisting of around 170,000 pages of drawings and another 200,000 pages of anime storyboards and script. Though he came from a family of doctors, lawyers, and military men, his interest in art was always encouraged. His father was an engineer, but he used to draw manga before he married, and he also collected manga books over time. Tezuka's father had bought a movie projector, which is how Osamu was introduced to his greatest influences in art and animation, Walt Disney and Max Fleischer. These are just a few pieces of works Tezuka is best known for creating. So we see Jungle Taite, Jungle Emperor, later released as the animation series Kimba, the White Lion in the U.S., Tetsuan Atom, Astro Boy, Riben no Kishi, Princess Knight, Hino Tori, the Phoenix, and then Blackjack and Buddha. And then you see a picture of him right there. Through his work, Tezuka initiated a new way of telling a visual story in manga form through dynamic action, as if you are a part of the character's world. I felt after the war that existing comics were limiting. Most were drawn as if seated in an audience viewing from a stage, where the actors emerge from the wings and interact. This made it impossible to create dramatic or psychological effects, so I began to use cinematic techniques. French and German movies that I had seen as a schoolboy became my model. I experimented with close-ups in different angles, and instead of using only one frame for an action scene or the climax, as was customary, I made a good point of depicting movements or facial expressions with many frames, even many pages. The result was super long. It was a super long comic that ran to 500, 600, even 1,000 pages. I also believe that comics were capable of more than just making people laugh. So in my themes, I incorporated tears, grief, anger, and hate, and I created stories where the ending was not always happy. Manga is virtual. Manga is virtual, manga is sentiment, manga is resistance, manga is bizarre, manga is pathos, manga is destruction, manga is arrogance, manga is love, manga is quiche, manga is a sense of wonder, manga is there is no conclusion yet. And these are quotes obviously from the great Osamu Tezuka. And it says here, in February 9, 1989, Tokyo, Japan, Osamu died of stomach cancer. Hopefully, this manga will make its way outside of Japan so the rest of the world can also have a chance of owning their own copy of this manga collection. It will be fascinating to see the beginnings and growth of someone who has done such amazing works of art and writing and drawing. So I think that that's fantastic that his earliest work that we know of, right, I believe, is this that is going to be, or one of his earliest works is, I don't know if he did anything prior to this, but this is finally going to see print, and who knows, maybe with enough demand it'll see a Western release as well. So if you're a fan of his, this is good news for you, especially if you can read Japanese. I guess it'll be even better news if it gets a Western release over here, because this guy, again, you can't say enough good things about him and what he did for the industry that a lot of us enjoy here in America now. So great news. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. And until next time, y'all know how it goes. The hunt continues.